to another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we talk those strategies do what? Make that green rain. I am so happy to have Charlene Hendricks here with me today, and I know that you're going to get a lot out of this topic because we're going to talk a little bit about time management and what that all means. Welcome, Charlene.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure, and I'm so glad that you're here. Would you tell our audience about your wonderful business?
So my company is called Amazing Works Incorporated, and I actually do a lot in the realm of voiceover. So not only am I a voiceover artist, I'm a voiceover artist and actor, but in addition, I actually do voiceover coaching, and I hire narrators to voice audiobooks. So yes, I also hire narrators as well. So it's kind of like a 3-dimension, and I'm growing. There's other things we're adding to it, so look out, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about what you want to discuss around time management.
So with those 3 entities, and also with rolling out more, and with having other volunteer types of things that I do, and with being married, how do I, the time gets, all over the place. And I've tried different techniques. I've tried writing everything down on a list, checking it off. And I do that. I've tried a color-coded calendar on my computer. So every item or thing gets a color, right? I don't always stick to that because I'm not always looking at my computer. I even have a paper day timer where I'm writing those. So I've got 3 different things going on: my list, my computer thing, and my day timer. And I still don't get it all done in one day. I'll get distracted doing something and feel like, okay, I did not get done with the top priority that I was supposed to really do today. So
let's break that apart, because one of the things about time management is, and I was doing some research, as it's something that we all talk about, is how do I manage my time effectively? And one of the things that I learned as I was reading some articles, I think this one came from the Harvard Business Review, is that time equals fear. Time equals fear. We are fearful either I didn't complete it and there's going to be a consequence. I'm fearful because if I don't put it down, it won't get down. We won't get it done. I'm fearful because I know that there's 25 things that have to be done, and all 25 things need to be accomplished, and if they don't get accomplished, I failed. So the first thing we have to do is break apart. Why am I not getting what I need to get done? So you have these 3 mechanisms. What is the thing that in your mind that you can sit and say, most of the time I don't get something done? Is it because of distractions? Is it because I've got too many things to begin with? What is it in your mind that makes you feel I'm overworked? I just can't. I'm trying to get this done and I can't finish it.
So what you said is so powerful. Fear is a very powerful, it's a powerful thing that we have to work through, as opposed to just ignoring it. It's something that you embrace and work through that. So that's huge. That blew the lid off my mind when you said that. I was like, woo, girl, you saying that. That is right. I love getting down to the foundation and the real issue. What I would say is that some of it is distraction, not all of it. And I do think that I have too many things. I think I've been putting too many things on one day. So as you were talking, I was thinking, okay, maybe I spread this out and say, okay, this week, this is going to be the top priority, as opposed to having a whole list of things and picking 2 or 3 of those are the top priorities that do take time. So you really have me thinking about that.
So let's talk about that too, because one of the things is that I have to ask you, who put the deadline on you?
Oof, me.
Okay, so why?
Right.
Why did you put that deadline on yourself?
Right.
What is the consequence if you don't? It's kind of like that thinking we always do when we work for someone else, and we would say, I can't go on vacation, I got to finish this, or I got to take my laptop with me and I got to work. Guess what? The work is done and it's going to be there when you come back.
That's right.
What is the consequence for not doing it? And I want you to ask yourself that question every day when you put something down. So I said I needed to get this done today. Why? What is the impact if I don't? Okay? And what will start to happen is you'll go, well, I said I had to get it done Monday, but I really don't need it for 2 weeks. Okay, so let's do a piece each day. So now I got 15 minutes as opposed to an hour that I'm taking to do something when I got 50 other things today. Okay? And, you know, I was, one of the things that from a personal perspective is doing your family calendar, right? Your wife, a mom, this, that, other. You got community things you're doing, this, that, and the other. All these things you want to accomplish. You got to give out of your portfolio. There's so much time for the husband. We need one-on-one time, significant other, what boyfriend, whoever it happens to be, partner. But they got to be nurtured. This relationship has to be nurtured. My children's relationships have to be nurtured. My job has to be nurtured. Now, the reality is, it will never be 33, 33, 33. It doesn't work that way. Because life happens.
Right.
There might be a week that your husband needs you more than your kids. It might be a week your kids need you more than your job. So the irony is, I think we put ourselves in a box. And we're going to take a station break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that box.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about this box, right? A lot of times we let society define for us what's the boundary of this box.
Right.
And that's how we get into these discussions of, you know, you got to be a stay-at-home mom to raise good kids, or you can't go to work, or if you're going to work, you're missing this, you're missing that. And then there's a number of women that say, well, I don't think I'm missing, I have it all. You know, I think I can go to work, I think I can have a relationship, I think I can have a family. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. First and foremost, that is an individual decision. Nobody tells you, do you hear me? Nobody tells you what your work-life balance is but you.
Right.
Because all of us don't have the same personality. Some of us would be in the mental institution if we couldn't have intellectual conversation during the course of a day. And if you told them they had to stay home with kids all day, they'd go, okay, I'm gonna be a horrible person because this is not what I can do all day, right?
Right.
But you have to know your boundaries.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say is, first, get out of this box. There is no perfect box. Secondly, is every week look at your priorities of what must get done first.
Okay.
So when you go through and you color, you go, okay, this has a deadline. And how do I know it? If I don't do it this week, here's the consequence.
Right.
This has a deadline. If I don't do it this week, it has a consequence, right? If not, spread it out, right? And think about what that looks like. The second thing is that make sure that your time is distributed according to the revenue you want to receive.
Powerful.
The revenue you want to receive.
Yes.
So if I want to get voiceovers more,
Yes.
and I want to focus more time on voiceovers, what does it take to do that? And how many hours am I putting in the week to make that happen? If I want to get people that I want them to come work for me and do voiceovers and partner with me, how much time do I put into that? Well, I got to have voiceover projects. So how much business development am I doing, right? After you've gone through all of that, there comes a point that as we're growing in a business, it's too much to handle. And that's when you know you got to do one or two things. You either hire somebody
Right.
or you outsource it,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you get it to people who you can trust, people who can help you reach the goals and see your vision. What is your vision of what you want to do and what you want to make? And I encourage you to do that as you are looking at more products, because the more you add, the more time is in the pot,
Right.
right? So if you're going to add more products to what you're going to be doing as a strategy, I think that's great. I think we need to diversify. I think we add great products to our mix to help us. But when you do that and you understand the time, what things can you take away that have a minimal impact that you can get outsourced to give to someone else, right? And begin to think about that before you do it. Make sure that you can financially handle it. And I'll tell you, the one thing I get from a lot of businesses all the time is, I don't have the money. And I'm going to say something that people that are as old as I am and older grew up with. Barter, 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 right? I don't think this generation understands enough about barter, okay? But you can barter some services, and you can barter with another entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs need references. Entrepreneurs need someone to say, you did a really good job. So barter with them. Say, if you help me do this, I'll help you do that. We don't have to exchange money, but that can be more valuable than any dollar you could collect. Right? Because they're able to help you as you're moving forward. And the other thing is, and then getting your testimonies and all those kinds of things as we talk about, you know, with marketing, so that you can continue to get more business. But time management will kill you if you don't put out the proportion to what you can handle, number one. And secondly, don't forget about self-care. So what does self-care mean to you? It means something different to each one of us. Right? But you got to fit it in. You got to put in to fill your cup. You know, like with my husband, to fill his cup is to work. Every time he goes to work and he's working, he's filling his cup because he enjoys his job. You know, he enjoys what he does. Right. So that's filling his cup. Okay, I'll tell you, once upon a time, it used to be all that filled my cup was work. As I've gotten a little bit more seasoned, and have a little few more desires, and have grandchildren and other places I want to spend time, it ain't quite like that anymore, right? That balance looks a little different than what it used to look like. But I think that's important. Life changes, right? And so you have to embrace it, be comfortable with it, and work through it, and work through what that looks like, so that it's good for you, right? And then talk to your husband. Find out what they need. So as you're doing this, it's like, I'm not leaving you out, but I just need to understand what lets you know that I'm engaged, not just there. I don't want to just be there. I want to be engaged and present in what we're doing. How do I ensure that you feel that engagement that I'm trying to deliver? Right? And I think that engagement, you know, as we talk about, you heard of the 5 love languages? Right. Okay. So as we start talking about what that favorite love language is, like, okay, I got you. You know, you physical. Friday night, we got something special to do, right? You know?
That's right.
You know, his birthday coming up. I got this great gift that you wanted, right? But it's all, we say that in jest, but it's all so real. Because that's how you feel somebody's soul.
That's right. That's right.
So make sure you talk to him and your children. You know, my kids and I had this agreement, because I was a corporate executive and traveling a lot. And I said, okay, as long as I'm not on a business trip, I will attend your practices and your games. Okay? And I didn't care what time of day it was. I blocked my calendar. I went to practices and to the game, right? Because that's what was important to them, was to be a practice and games. And then I was like, okay, now you all want time to go play at so-and-so's house. Daddy and I need time to go play this night. Right? So it was that trade-off, that understanding. But I think those conversations are important, because as women, we think we're supposed to be super women, and you don't. There is a way to have everybody have accountability as you move through it, so we can have a happier household. We're going to take a station break, and when we come back, we're going to see if we have a question or a comment from the audience. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Let's see if we have a question from the or a comment from the audience.
Hi there. I'm Karen Farrell Rhodes. I'm a founder of Shockingly Different Leadership, and I just had a quick question for you. I was just curious, are there professional associations in the voiceover industry? And if so, I was just wondering if there are, women groups that are there that support each other and help each other with balancing life.
So there are professional organizations. One of them is the union that I'm in, that's SAG-AFTRA, and that's actually because I'm a voiceover artist and an actor, as well as SOVAS, which is the Society of Voice Artists and Sciences. And I do not know of a particular women's group in either one of them, but what I will say is that I have a community of artists that have come together, and we meet like once a month. Sometimes we add in a second time, and we share ideas, we share what we're thinking, we share our fears, we share all of it, and we're very vulnerable in that space, so that we can help each other and empower one another to build and be better and be greater.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for your question.
Yes.
It's great when you can have a mastermind like that, especially when you can relax and be yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that you can make that happen. How do you handle the acting side of it? Because you said you are an actress. Do
Yes.
you do that? Full time, or is it more on the voiceover side and occasionally doing the acting? How does that work?
So with acting, I am signed with an agent for my voiceover and on-camera commercial, and then also for my acting side, which is legit work for TV and film. So right now, you really are on call 24/7 with the auditions, and that's for both. Because with the auditions, you just have to be ready. You have to prepare. So I do take time, that's another thing added to my schedule, to just train. Even if it's 15 minutes a day, reading scripts, building my monologues so that I'm ready for when that time comes. The other thing is, that I probably didn't mention, is that I am hired with iHeartMedia, and so I'm also on call for them. And if they need a voiceover commercial done, I pretty much turn my mic on at the beginning of the day, and just, if I get a commercial, boom, I go right in there, do it, 15 minutes, I'm pretty much done. So, those are rotating things that are happening that can also impact my day if I was, anticipating on doing this thing. And so, like you said before, though, if an audition comes up, that then moves up to the priority list, because now I have to focus and make sure I take more time in my day for that.
Now, so you also said that you hire team members and to help you with that too.
Yes.
So when do you determine that I'm going to give it to someone else versus I'm going to take this one if you on your team, if you're doing that?
Yes. So now I love to give, because these are for the audiobooks, so I love to give the audiobooks to my narrators. If the client says, I want you, then I take the time out to do it because they specifically requested for me to do that book. But for most of and I'm actually working on one now, but for most of the time, I like to give them to my narrators.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, so people contact you, you have a team, so you have narratives that do audiobooks.
Narrators, yes.
Okay. Do you have narratives, or I'm not sure the lingo, so you have to correct me.
Narrators.
So you have narrators, but then what about having other people do voiceovers, not narrating a book, an audiobook, but just doing voiceovers? Is that different?
It is very different. So I don't hire anyone to do commercials and things of that matter.
Okay.
I only hire them to do the audiobooks. This started because I have a client that has several books, and I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I want to make sure that I get these done. And so that's what sparked it. Although I have other clients now, that's what sparked it, where, okay, I need a team of people to even tackle this. So, yeah.
Okay. But then all the voiceovers are yours, and all the commercials and things like that.
So the commercials, yes. So the commercials are either through auditions through the agency, or iHeartMedia has actually contracted with me just to do commercials for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it's such a phenomenal business, in terms of moving forward.
Yes.
But that's even more of a reason why you need that self-care.
Yes.
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 So what do you like to do for self-care?
Ooh, I love walking. I love just being in the sun. So if I can just walk around my neighborhood and, and bask in the sun, sitting out in my yard, which I love as well, I love that. I also love massages, facials. I like spa time.
Okay.
I love that. So,
So do you put 15 minutes on your calendar during the summertime to go sit on the backyard, or 15 minutes to go walk? Or...
So I've started doing, walking is like my exercise and my enjoyment, where I'm freeing my mind.
Right.
So I'll do about an hour.
that's
I try to
awesome.
do that 3 days a week,
That's
at least.
awesome. That's
And
awesome.
then the yard, I don't get out there as much as I like to, because I feel like it's more, I'm just sitting and relaxing where I need to, but I'm just not out there as often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I have a client that during my executive coaching, we walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm getting work done as well as getting walking and getting my exercise.
Yes.
Because I like to walk. I
Yes.
like to be out.
Yes.
But then we're helping each other.
Yes.
I'm giving, I'm talking about what's at hand, and we're present with each other. It's just us, and we can focus on whatever the issue is.
Yes.
So, sometimes if you can do some of that planning, or you could do some of those things while you're walking or while you're sitting, you're actually accomplishing multiple things at once.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
In terms of making that happen. And then it's not like I need 2 hours. I had 1 hour and I'm able to get both done at once. Or maybe split it up. 30 minutes that you're talking to somebody, and 30 minutes you're by yourself. Whatever that happens to look
That's
like.
good. Yeah.
I think, at the end of the day, time management is something that we all have to embrace. We have to look at the fears of not doing what we say is on our calendar, understanding the impacts of, if it's on our calendar, what happens if we don't do it, and what does it look like. And furthermore, taking the time to recognize that all of the players that are in my life, all of the components that are in my life, everybody's not going to get the same thing every day, because life happens in our 24-hour day. Anything can happen.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I think we have to kind of work through that as we move forward.
Yes.
Can you all join me in thanking my guest today? Thank you so much, Charlotte, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to what? Make that green rain. See you next time.